What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's cracking, y'all? Back with another video from the Jonny Arnett universe. Wemby is terrifying, but has a major flaw. I don't know why I got my pinky up like that. Who am I, Dr. Evil? I got my pinky up. Anyway, man. Listen, I had my issues with Wemby, but not just Wemby. I had issues with Greg Popovich and the cast around Wemby. Things that I predicted would happen before Wemby even got drafted if he was to go to the Spurs. Because I know Greg Popovich. I know how he kind of puts a muzzle on players and kind of puts a harness on them and like kind of holds back their potential because, you know, he's all about the team. Move the ball. We're not going to run so much offense through one player, at least consistently, you know. So I know he's been, Pop has historically done that to his star players. You look at Tim Duncan's numbers. Timmy's numbers could have been even better. If Pop didn't coach the way he coached, but you can't really say much about it. He won 5 championships. And Tim Duncan was okay with it. He's like, hey, I'll put up the big numbers when you need me, but other than that, I'm cool with just playing within the offense, and that's great. But then you had some players, like DeMar DeRozan and Stephen Jackson, Stacks, that were like, hey, man, you're holding me back. I can provide more. You got me coming off the bench. You're playing these mind games with me. You're trying to turn me into a Greg Popovich zombie, all this other stuff. So, like, when I wanted Wemby to come in, I wanted him to just blow everybody's socks off. Like, I am this 7'5", 7'6" monster. Try to stop me. I'm killing everybody. As a fan, I wanted to see it, but I know you really weren't going to get that with Pop. That's not how Pop likes to play basketball. It's respectable, but as a fan that wants to eat popcorn and watch a player go balls to the wall, especially somebody at his height that we've never seen before with his skill talent, I want to see it happen. But then you also had the teammates that weren't passing Wemby the ball. They weren't looking for him. In clear situations where pick and roll, rolling to the basket, hands up, get me the ball, have a mismatch, they weren't getting this man the ball at all. And I'm like, yo, these guys have to understand to get him the ball. Popovich has to understand to tell these guys to get him the ball, especially when there's a clear mismatch. And Wemby has to demand it, get in these guys' faces. My other problem with Wemby is that, especially early on in his rookie year, he was shooting too many jumpers, too many fadeaways, too many three-point shots, wasn't moving to the basketball, wasn't getting a position on the low block and then calling for the ball. If he couldn't do it with the ball because he's not strong enough, well, weasel your way in without the ball and call for it. And that's also on Pop to put him in a position to do that and tell him to do that. Now, in the second half of the season, there were adjustments being made, and I saw Wemby being a bit more productive, and that comes with experience too, but still shooting too many threes, more than I would like to see, and settling for jumpers more than I would like to see. That's my take. Let's see what Jonny Arnett thinks his major flaw or flaws are. Let's get into it.
I've been watching professional NBA basketball for several decades now, and I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that Victor Wembanyama is quickly becoming one of the most interesting and fascinating players that I've ever witnessed. He's a 7'5" player with an even longer wingspan, and what makes him so special and so remarkable is his incredible speed and quickness in combination with his size. It makes him this jaw-dropping freak of nature like we've never seen before. Sure, we have seen skilled basketball players like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Yao Ming, and Ralph Sampson, guys who are well above 7 feet tall. But even those guys were not nearly as agile and as fluid as Wembanyama, as he often operates like a 7'5" guard. He's shifty, he's quick, he can dribble the basketball, and he can cover a tremendous amount of ground in a short amount of time. He's terrifying on defense, as he nearly won the Defensive Player of the Year award in his rookie season. And honestly, some of the ways he was intimidating guys...
I think he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. I said that. I think he should have won Defensive Player of the Year his rookie year. And y'all gave it to Rudy Gobert. Get out of my face, man. I was Wemby's.
Guys from even thinking about challenging him around the rim was a kind of defensive impact that I don't think I've ever seen from a rookie player. Now San Antonio has really made things interesting as they acquired Chris Paul. And I do think he is going to help out Wemby quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Last year, Wemby's teammates looked completely enthusiastic about feeding him the basketball. San Antonio fans can chime in on this because I'm not sure if that was just low IQ, jealousy, or some sort of unspoken beef. But we all saw it. Now, he'll have one of the greatest passers in the history of the game, who's getting ready to start feeding him the basketball. And yes, Chris Paul is 39 years old. And yes, his previous season in Golden State wasn't anything to brag about. But consider this. Despite the fact that CP3 only started in 18 of the 58 games he played last year, and despite the fact that he played his fewest minutes of his career while acclimating to a new system, he still averaged nearly 7 assists per game. As a starter in San Antonio with a generational big man on his side, I genuinely think this has the makings of a terrifying 1-2 punch.
I agree.
Historically, if you look at some of the big men that Chris Paul has played with, they often had the best seasons of their career when they had him to feed them the basketball. But now let's refocus on Wemby. The greatest big men in the history of the game almost always took a leap forward in the second year of their career. Just look at guys like Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yes, they were great rookie players, but that leap forward in their second year was monumental. I do believe Wemby's minutes should increase this upcoming season.
Absolutely.
And if we look back at his rookie year, Coach Popovich was increasing his minutes as the season went along. If Chris Paul is the floor general and San Antonio makes a big leap forward to the point that maybe they're even in playoff contention, then there will be plenty of reasons to give Wemby much more minutes. Especially once those minutes start to climb, I can see Wemby being a modern version of Hakeem Olajuwon, in the sense that he'll be putting up ridiculous blocks and steals averages that most bigs simply can't replicate. Those stocks combinations will be some of the most impressive we've seen in modern history. If you look at his per 36 minutes stats in his rookie year, he averaged 26 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steals, and 4.3 blocks. Just think about that stat line for a minute. If Wemby increased his minutes to around 36 and was able to put up those numbers over the course of a season, then he would instantly become the MVP favorite as soon as the Spurs were a playoff team. We're talking about a guy putting up prime Giannis numbers on offense, while putting up prime Hakeem Olajuwon numbers on defense. And again, this was just his per 36 minute stats from his rookie season. And Wemby is still in the process of becoming a much, much better basketball player. When you look at it that way, this is easily one of the scariest potentials that I've ever witnessed in a basketball player. With that being said, it isn't all amazing when it comes to Wemby, and the one aspect that I'm really critical about related to his game is the fact that he doesn't take full advantage of his size and length. Of course, as an old head basketball fan, I would say that, right? Back in the 90s and 2000s, big men were known for playing more in the post, and would abuse smaller players down low. Sure, Wemby doesn't have the strength and the pounds to really punish guys down low, but with his skills, with his pure height, and with his length, he can surely get good opportunities at will. A player like Wemby should be relentlessly going to work in the post, because he should always be able to get a clean look based on his skills and based on his size. He doesn't need a Kareem skyhook, but even just a casual jump hook would make him nearly unstoppable within 15 feet. One of the reasons he doesn't go to work more in the post is because he settles too much on the perimeter. Simply put, he shoots way too many three-point shots. Last year, Wemby shot 5.5 three-point attempts per game, while hitting only 32.5% of his three-point attempts. That is well below league average. And if you look at guys who shot that many three-pointers throughout the course of his career, he would statistically be one of the worst three-point shooters in league history if he maintains this percentage. He was literally second in the league among centers for the most three-pointers attempted per game, while being well below league average efficiency from three-point distance. If you ask me, that's just wasted possessions. And I get it, basketball is a game of spacing, and you need to be able to threaten guys with the possibility of a perimeter shot. That way they give you more space to operate. Being able to shoot the three-point shot keeps defenses honest, and it doesn't allow them to back off and crowd the rim, stopping you from driving to the basket. But again, he was second in the NBA among centers and three-pointers attempted per game, and he was nearly first overall. He simply doesn't need to be shooting that many. Sure, it does look good on social media when a 7'5" alien is hitting step-back three-pointers, but social media clips isn't what wins basketball games, but quality shot selection will. Clearly, nothing has changed in the offseason, as he was terrible from three-point distance during the Olympics. He shot only 28.9% from three-point range, while leading his entire team in attempts per game at 6.3. And also consider the fact that the three-point line isn't as far out during Olympic competition. Don't get me wrong, overall, he was still fantastic in the Olympic Games. But I'd just like to see him maximize his potential with some better decision making. Maybe the addition of Chris Paul's leadership will help with that. So obviously, there's pros and cons heading into next season, but the pros clearly outweigh the cons. He has some areas where he can refine his game, but overall, I think NBA centers should still be very scared going against this guy, both on offense and defense. Personally, I think he's the next guy to achieve the quadruple-double.
Oh,
and
hell
assuming
yeah.
he stays healthy, he'll be
yeah.
breaking numerous records in the near future.
Oh yeah, easy.
I will say this with complete certainty, that this is the most excited I've been to watch some Spurs basketball in quite a long time. So what do you guys think? Just how scary is the potential of Victor Wembanyama? And are you like me and thinks he needs to make some significant changes to his game? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I don't really have much to add there. Johnny pretty much said everything I had said in my opening remarks, without a doubt. And I didn't really watch him play in the Olympics, so no surprise to me that he still struggled from three. But yeah, you got to take those three-point attempts down, man. It's good, you know, you want to be able to shoot it at a decent clip and be a threat, but you don't want that. You don't want to rely so heavily on that. You shouldn't be leading the team. He shouldn't be leading teams in three-point attempts. Hell no. Hell no. I like the point Johnny made about, oh, sure, it looks good on, you know, Instagram highlights or TikTok highlights, whatever. And so many people, casual fans, they get everything from just highlights people post on social media, and they think this guy is doing this on a regular basis. This is a small frame of an entire mosaic picture, okay? Like, this is, yeah, you saw Wemby hit a three. I can promise you, nobody's out there sweating when they see Wemby behind the three-point line. He's not a knockdown shooter. Not now, anyway. Yes, he has the potential to hit it, but you're going to give him threes all day as long as he's willing to take them. You know what I mean? Same thing with Anthony Davis, man. AD don't be hitting threes as much as people believe he does. That's one of my frustrations with Anthony Davis. Take your big ass down in the post. Stop shooting so many damn jumpers. Anyway, I do think him and Chris Paul, I know Chris Paul's older, but the Spurs have no playmakers. So even an old, dusty Chris Paul can do enough to unlock more potential out of Wemby and make things easy for him at the same time. He's still a great passer. Chris Paul is. He's not as quick and as athletic as he used to be. He doesn't have the stamina that he used to be, obviously, or used to have, obviously. But he's still good enough in this non-physical NBA and still has skills to get around players and, you know, run the pick and roll and get freed up and find passing lanes. He'll be sufficient in that. I wouldn't even mind seeing Chris Paul get an uptick in minutes from what he got last season in Golden State, just because there's more of a need for him here. But we'll see. Appreciate y'all for stepping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. And I catch you on the next one. We out, baby.